accessible gaming, why it's important, and my history with it on today's episode. Hi, my name is Blake Shelley. I'm an author of Britain Change, and I'm a speaker that happens to have cerebral palsy. Welcome to our first episode of Tech Tuesday, where I talk about technology from an accessible point of view. Today we started with gaming and why accessible gaming is so important. I'm a firm believer that everyone has a right to have fun in their life and to be able to play without any barriers or at least limit the barriers that they have. I'm not a hardcore gamer, but I do enjoy playing to wind down every now and then. I have a long history with gaming, and today I want to give you a brief summary of how I've been able to do it. My journey started in 1995 when the Nintendo 64 came out. Like most kids my age, it was at the top of my Christmas list, and I was fortunate enough to receive one. And my parents knew that I would have some limitations with the controller. So let's go over to my overhead view and I'll show you what we did. So this is a standard Nintendo 64 controller that came with the console. And although it's a great design, I was not able to hold it forever because of my primary skill. Um, and I wasn't able to set it on the floor, but I couldn't reach the buttons or let the trigger on the bottom. So my parents found the arcade shop when they bought the console, and this allowed me to play most any game I wanted because of the button size and the fact that the button is there on the top. I put a lot of my Super Mario 64, Mario Kart, and my all-time favorite game, GoldenEye. With that, I still wasn't able to really play a campaign style. It was more for multiplayer games with my sisters. Um, I got older, I was able to do some of the campaigns on GoldenEye, but with some extensive truth. So this was a great piece of tech. It wasn't perfect, but it did the job. So let's go on to my next phase. My next phase of gaming with PlayStation 2 and 3. Now I don't have either console anymore, nor the controller that I use. But this section of my gaming history posts a lot of trouble with accessibility. I was able to find an arcade style stick similar to what I used on the Nintendo 64. The only problem was instead of having one directional pad and one joystick, it had a directional pad and two joysticks. And at that time, no one that I knew of was making controllers with the two thumbsticks. Most of them were just the D-pad, so that greatly limited that game I was able to play. The next phase of gaming I interested was computer-based as well as tablet-based. On computer, because I wasn't fast with my fingers and a keyboard, I was bound to smart games such as The Sims. I played a lot of Sims in middle school and high school. Then when the iPad came out during the college years, it changed the way I could game. I was able to do more and more multiplayer games that only require one hand, like the Power Rangers game. Here is a little bit of my gameplay on this game using one hand to pick my moves and to swipe back and forth. That I entered with the Xbox One and PS4 generation. I ended up purchasing the Xbox One because I like the controller better and the game selection back then. As great as the Xbox One controller was, I still had limitations with using the remote game. My hand would get tired from holding it, and when I put it on my lap, I couldn't hit the trigger button. So I went online and found a site called Able Gamers. It's a great charity and website that helps gamers with disabilities purchase equipment as well as find articles on accessible games. So through Able Gamers, I found this company called Blue Tip Gaming that creates custom controls such as this one that is access to and is compatible with both Xbox and PS4. This is a great controller. It reminded me a lot of my Nintendo 64 controller with the big buttons, and it solved the problem that I had with the PS2 and PS3 where I didn't have enough choices to play the game effectively. They even went one step further and put a 3.5mm headphone jack on the back, which is where standard Switch uses, such as this Jelly Bean or the Butt Stick bounces, and that allowed me to use the right trigger either at my foot pedal or with my mouth to bite down when I wanted to shoot. There is a great solution and Bluetooth gaming was very helpful. As I'll put a link down in the description as well if you want to check them out. However, over the weekend, I went to put it in and it will power up. I believe that the source and the course Bluetooth gaming is great and it's not a reflection on them. Rather, on the 5-year-old essentially has been picked up or drug accepted for by the power cord. I don't recommend it. That's not how you should treat your very expensive devices. But nonetheless, it's not working. So instead of trying to buy another one of these which they range from anywhere to $450 to $600 depending on the model and switch you want with it. Instead of dropping another $600 on an updated one, I decided to order the Xbox One adaptive controller and a Titan 2. I believe that the Xbox One or the Xbox adaptive controller will allow me to have more control over my setup with the switches that I want to use and use the regular controller and Copilot if I wish as well. And I ordered the Titan 2 to give me more flexibility with it in case I want to use it on a PlayStation 4, which I plan on doing this weekend. With that said, next week I will post an unboxing and first impressions of the Xbox adaptive controller. I don't usually do unboxings, but I've heard that it has accessible packaging, so we'll see how it goes. I hope this video has been helpful with understanding accessible gaming and how it has evolved over the last few years. Again, this video is just about hardware. Software developers are making big strides in the area as well, and that will be a future the video if you're interested. If you are, let me know in the comments, as well as if you have a favorite device that you use. Thank you for being with us today, and until next week, take care of yourself and others. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please take a minute to like the video and subscribe to my channel, as well as hit the bell icon so that you can be notified when I drop new content.